What up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this edition of Brown Mamba Podcast. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackson. So I know I've been away for a little while. Apologize for that. I've been a little busy, doing a lot of different things, took a little time off, but I'm back now. And I just want to jump right back into some wrestling because there's a lot that's been going on, and a lot that I admit, I missed a lot of, or I just missed covering a lot of it. WrestleMania, the post-WrestleMania shows, and most recently this week, the Superstar SHAKEUP. A lot of it was, my fault for not, staying on top of things, but I have been paying attention, so don't worry. And a lot of it, too, was because there was so much happening. I wanted to, get a better understanding of all of it as a whole, because this is, wrestling fans know that the weeks after WrestleMania is, like the beginning of the new year for wrestling. Wrestling follows, or the WWE follows the calendar based on WrestleMania. And once WrestleMania is done, that's the beginning of their new calendar year. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to have everything all together to see how it all fits together, makes sense in one big podcast as opposed to like three. That way, it makes more sense to me. And I've had a little bit of time to digest and process everything. So I'm going to start with a quick recap of WrestleMania. Like I said, a lot of stuff's already been said. So I guess I'm just going to kind of run through just more opinion stuff on what I thought. Then I'm going to go over, the stuff that happened on the Raw and SmackDown right after WrestleMania, and then combine all that with the Superstar Shakeup that happened this week, and just kind of, see how that affects where wrestling's at now and where it can possibly take it, in the coming weeks and for the rest of the year, not just coming weeks. So starting with WrestleMania, like I said, WrestleMania to me was actually a good show. There's some people who were critical of some certain spots and whatever. They're just being picky. But overall, it was a good WrestleMania. It was better than last year's, that's for damn sure. It had a lot of great highs. It had some, some pretty big lows as well. But it was literally a roller coaster of emotions. I know the whole pun with, the thrill ride stuff. But it really was, like I said, I feel like the people who should have won all won. Even if we kind of knew ahead of time that they were gonna win and stuff like that, but like I said, even though it was kind of like predictable, it made sense and in the best kind of way. Like I said, this is honestly the culmination of everything, as you'll see that I talk about. Like I said, I just got back into wrestling relatively recently, but all the stuff that I've gone back and watched and read and stuff like that, right now WWE is in the best possible shape that it's been in a long time, probably since the last time I actually followed wrestling, which was in the Ruthless Aggression era, the early 2000s, with the original brand split and all that stuff. That was when I was really like still following wrestling, like, done on a week-to-week basis. And yeah, it looks like it's in really good shape. Like I said, first at WrestleMania, we saw the debut of the Hardys. Whether or not they're going to be broken is, still to be seen. I personally would love to see them be broken, especially Broken Matt. That to me is the best gimmick in all of wrestling going right now, whether it's WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact, whatever they go by now, all that stuff. Excuse me. Broken Matt Hardy is the best. They just got to figure out a way to weave it into a storyline because, smart fans and diehard guys have followed it and get it. But for the casual fan who just, doesn't, watch everything all of a sudden. If all of a sudden, you got Matt Hardy doing his doing his, space and time broken stuff. It's, with Vanguard 1, it's not going to make any sense, especially since, they're playing their old music. They're calling them the Hardy Boys again and stuff like that. It's going to be a big shock. And the reason why Broken Matt works is because, people have followed it from the beginning and they are emotionally invested in it. And they have also, suspended belief and bought into the character. So that's why, like, if you just spring that up on someone, they're going to be like, what the hell is this? So I think they're just working on, one, getting the lawsuit stuff settled before they start really breaking out Broken Matt Hardy. But I think that also they're going to have to, they're trying to work on how they can weave in, the broken stuff to accommodate for the casual WWE fan who may not know about Broken Matt Hardy and stuff. So, like I said, I'm excited for this. It's a good thing for that. I'm also excited for the return of Kurt Angle. He was welcomed back with open arms to, the WWE, bringing us running the Hall of Fame. And then, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but he's now the new Raw general manager. So, with the absence of Mick Foley. And so that's good. It's always good to have Kurt on TV. He's become like super dad mode right now. Like if you follow him on Instagram and all that stuff. So hopefully he can still capture that stuff. That's that funny element he had. Also keeping that intensity too, that, made people respect him as well. So we'll just have to see about that. I'm excited. I'm as much as I wanted Brock Lesnar to defeat Goldberg so he can have the belt and Goldberg can go away. He did cut a pretty, heartfelt goodbye. And like I said, if I was in Goldberg's position, I would have taken it too and done what he did too. They're throwing wads of cash at him to do this, even though he took some guys spotlight that deserved it. So kudos to Goldberg. Thanks for everything again. And obviously, the big one was the Undertaker's last match. There's not much else to say. That's already been said about everything that the Undertaker means to both the WWE, or the WWE as a whole, both in front of the camera for all the fans, and backstage, as just a force to be reckoned with. Really, the last of a dying breed. Like I said, there's nothing much for me to say. I love the Undertaker, mainly because Kane is personally my favorite wrestler. And so I was very invested in the Undertaker just for the whole Undertaker Kane storyline, Brothers of Destruction. I remember when I was in like 6th grade, I like cut out these pictures of Kane and Undertaker from like an old WWE magazine and like taped it in my binder and like drew flames and like skulls and like shit like that, like Brothers of Destruction. I did all that. So it was, yeah, the Undertaker really means a lot to me, and it's it's as sad as it is to see him go. It's time for him to go. He's physically beat down. There's nothing else he has left to prove. He essentially did his job. He went out on his back, to help put over Roman Reigns, whether or not you like it. That's Undertaker's as old school as it gets, and he did what he knows he's supposed to do. And man, that was the perfect way to end not just WrestleMania, but potentially the career of the Undertaker. Just having it be all about him. No commentary. I loved that. No commentary. Just his music playing, the crowd reactions, the smoke, the lights, how he took all his stuff off, left everything in the ring. Like I said, it was perfect. And then how he just, sank right into the ramp. That was, it was perfect. So thank you, Undertaker, for everything that you've done for all of the fans. I'm pretty sure that's not the last we're going to hear of you. It's not like he died or anything, but it's definitely, like I said, it's sad, but it's not the end of everything. And we still have all the memories that he gave us. And there's still YouTube, so if you ever want, you can go back and watch all his matches anytime you want. So, again, thanks, Undertaker, and rest in peace. All right, and then moving on to the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, we saw on Raw, like I said, like I talked about earlier, Kurt Angle came back as the general manager. We saw a couple debuts. We saw the debut of the Revival. Now, I'll admit, I don't know like all their matches, but I do know that the Revival is really good. I know like them, DIY, Authors of Pain. I know those guys are really great. They put on a lot of great matches last year in NXT. So I'm excited to see how the Revival gets thrown into the mix. For those of you who don't know, the Revival is a real throwback bruiser, smash mouth style team. But at the end of the day, they're a great tag team. Like they really work in the team element really well. So let's be excited for that. And we also saw the return of Finn Balor, which is great. He's such an amazing wrestler. I mean, everything's better when he's around. And damn it, man, he looks fucking. No one can pull off a leather jacket with no shirt quite like Finn Balor. Pause. That guy, I swear, man, he is something else, man. But yeah, it's great to have him back. Even though it potentially looks like he might have gotten injured by freaking Jinder Mahal. Honestly, fuck that guy. Sorry. I don't care. That guy's obviously taking something. You can tell. I mean, not to sound like a hater. You know, this guy just blew up out of nowhere as far as like size wise, and he got bigger and leaner like out of nowhere. It looks like he's got potentially some gyno working. Who knows? But honestly, fuck that guy. No one likes him. Apparently he's a really stiff and sloppy worker. That's his kind of, MO. And then he ended up, fucking potentially injuring Finn Balor on his return for what? For no reason. So fuck that guy. Hopefully he just gets a job out now that he's on SmackDown. But yeah, but on a better note, back to Finn Balor. It's great to have him back. Apparently he's teaming with Seth Rollins. I don't know how that's going to go, especially since Seth Rollins injured him. So I don't know. But like I said, it's great to have him back. Hopefully he can contend for the Universal title again, and do some pretty cool things. Like I said, he's a great wrestler, great worker, great gimmick, all that good stuff. And hopefully, like I said, I'd love to see him go against Brock Lesnar just for the fact that it's such two clashing styles. No pun intended with styles clash, but it's like, damn, like it would actually make for a great match because I think Finn Balor can really get the best out of Brock, and vice versa. Brock can really get the best out of it because, he's being the small guy. He can just throw him around, but Finn Balor's quick and he can avoid a lot of the stuff. So I think it'll work. That'd be a really great, fantasy booking for me. And then, like I said, the Hardys there too. Hopefully they can figure out a way to get the broken gimmick working. But on Raw after WrestleMania was probably the best thing, which is crazy if you follow this and know how much I can't stand this guy. Crazy to think that Roman Reigns cut the best promo in a long time, where he just came out and stood there, took all the fans, shit. They were saying like, "Go home, Roman. Fuck you, Roman. You suck." They're just letting him have it for like 10 minutes, and he didn't say a word. And then all he did was just grab the mic and he just said, "This is my yard now," and then dropped the mic, and that was it. And that was perfect. Keyword being was, since it seemed like they were just going to book him as this, it's like they were going to do what everyone said to do. He isn't a traditional heel. We all know that, but book him as the guy like who's self-aware that the fans hate him, but he doesn't care. And that's the way they should take it. And I thought that's what they were going to do with that promo, along with the promo he cut before WrestleMania. But apparently that's not the case, since he, came out and did that sit down with Michael Cole again. Even though he got, just destroyed by Braun Strowman, and hopefully he's off TV for a little while. Even though it's not going to work, it feels like that with WWE doing that, having the monster Braun Strowman destroy Roman Reigns like that, it feels like they're trying to build sympathy for him. Like, oh my God, I feel bad for him, and he'll be gone for a little while, and he's going to come back, and he's supposed to, come back to this epic, pop, like the ones that Kurt Angle got, that Triple H got when they all came back from injury, stuff like that. But that's obviously not going to happen because this is, it's like it's too formulaic. We all know that's what they're going for, so they're not going to cheer him. They're going to boo him even louder. But that was Raw. SmackDown, it's great to see that, AJ Styles is being cemented as the face of SmackDown because he's literally the best in the world. The best. And so he deserves to be treated as such. And so I'm glad. Hopefully he can be propelled and then work his way up, on his way up. back to getting the title. That's his belt. Like I've said in other podcasts, that's AJ Styles' belt. I don't care. Sorry, Randy. I mean, God, it just doesn't have it. It's not working right now. But that's AJ Styles' belt, and which hopefully he can have a feud with my personal favorite wrestler right now, or one of, but definitely the guy that I'll go to war for this guy. Shinsuke is finally on the main roster. Finally. And I'm so excited that he's on SmackDown because it's coming. We know it's coming eventually. The Shinsuke AJ Styles match for the belt at WrestleMania. We know it's coming. And it's gonna be great. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch their match from, I think, like Wrestle Kingdom. Like it's the New Japan. It's New Japan's equivalent to WrestleMania. Go watch that match from about 3 years ago. It's as good as it sounds between Shinsuke and AJ in Japan. Just do yourself a favor, go look for it and find it and watch it. It's like I said, it's an amazing match. Should have been 5 stars, but hey, I'm not Dave Meltzer. To try to transition into the Superstar Shakeup kind of thing. So Kevin Owens is on SmackDown now. I'm kind of jumping around, but it all makes sense. So Kevin Owens is on SmackDown now, and he's issued an open challenge for his belt and this and that, which is good for Kevin Owens too. As good as he was on Raw, I feel like they're going back to what the original brand split was done to do. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. It feels like they're going back to why they did it in the brand split in the first place. It was to make Raw over here and have Raw be the real, I guess, like like TV style show that had all the drama and the goofy stuff kind of, but a lot of the hammed up drama on Raw, and then SmackDown was the worker show, the actual wrestling show. So it's good that they got great workers like Kevin Owens is on SmackDown now. Sami Zayn's on SmackDown now. Hopefully he can contend for a belt like a U.S. title or something like that. They kept Dolph Ziggler, they kept AJ Styles. Unfortunately, Randy Orton's there, but it's because he has the belt. What are they gonna do? Put him on Raw, and they got great workers like that on SmackDown. And then over on Raw, they got all the showy type guys, guys like The Miz is on Raw now, and The Miz is gonna explode on Raw. He's gonna explode. He's going to take his. Like I said, if you asked me a year ago that The Miz would be one of my favorite wrestlers, I'd have said you're fucking stupid. But The Miz really turned it around, and he's really become one of the great shows and funny attractions and stuff. Like the heel you love to hate, and that you just giggle at every time he says something. Like you're not supposed to, but you do anyway because it's so good and done so well. The Miz has become one of those guys. Dean Ambrose is on Raw now. Bray Wyatt's on Raw now. The guys that have like a more showier kind of gimmick, they're on Raw. So like I said, the shakeup did well. As silly as its name was, like I said, it really worked. I think it really worked. And also Charlotte's on SmackDown now, which is again more great workers. That just day in and day out can just elevate. She'll definitely elevate the SmackDown women's roster. The New Day's on SmackDown too, which whatever, I guess. Sorry, New Day, whatever. But yeah, it's the wrestling's in a good place right now. And back to what I was saying with and then this is part of why. So Kevin Owens issued an open statement, like an open challenge for his belt, and then Daniel Bryan came out and said, whomever wins the belt, will face you, whoever, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be between Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens. Obviously, we know Kevin Owens is going to keep the belt, so he's going to stay on SmackDown. But then there was a triple threat match for the number one contender spot. And it was between AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin, who, unfortunately, yes, is still on SmackDown. And AJ Styles won, and I'm like, damn it, because I really want AJ Styles to contend for the belt, the big belt, the WWE Championship belt, because it's like it wrote itself where, you know, that was his technically title shot, and then Randy Orton said, "No, I actually do want to contend for the belt." So the storyline writes itself. He can just say, "Hey, listen, that's my title shot that you took from me. I deserve a title shot." I'm sure that's coming somewhere down the road. He's gonna, and it could have culminated at SummerSlam, Randy Orton versus AJ, and then plus they actually had those good matches where, like, there was more, like the whole thing where Randy Orton was gonna hit the RKO off the forearm, but AJ Styles saw it, blah blah blah. So the DNA is there for that feud, and like I said, it could have culminated at SummerSlam. AJ Styles wins the belt. He's on top again. He's doing his thing. They keep going, and they have a feud, and then eventually, like around like Survivor Series time, is when Shinsuke comes out and starts saying, "Hey, blah blah blah." Shinsuke, by that time, he'll have worked enough to build it up, to get a following, and they'll just have Shinsuke and AJ Styles at WrestleMania next year, which will be that will steal the whole damn show. You can make that a 45-minute match, and it will be so good. So I mean, that's just me fantasy booking, and yeah, I think that's the way it should go, because when you have talent like that on your roster, you better freaking use it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, wrestling's in a really good place right now. The possibilities are endless on both Raw and SmackDown. Like I said, WrestleMania was good. The Raw and SmackDown afterwards really kind of helped, really kind of helped lay the groundwork. And then the Superstar Shakeup was, the cement that helped us lay over everything and just kind of set it in stone. Like, all right, here's what we got. Now let's go do it. That's what they need. Now they need to go ahead and do it. Like I said, a lot of great fantasy booking possibilities. It feels like they really nailed it right now, and expectations are really high from not just smart fans like myself, but other casual fans and stuff like that. The wrestling is super popular, and like I said, it's popular in the mainstream too. More celebrities are like showing up at wrestling things and wearing, a lot of rappers and shit wear wrestling t-shirts, even though maybe they may or may not watch wrestling, that kind of stuff. You know how that goes. But it's in the mainstream right now. And its popularity and chance of actually becoming more popular couldn't be any higher. Like I said, the potential is there. You just got to go out and do it. As a fan, I'm definitely excited. When wrestling good, when wrestling is good, everyone's happy. Honestly, whether you like it or not, that's just the way it goes. I can't wait for the next show around where I live, because I'm definitely going to be going, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. That's how much they've got me invested. But yeah, and honestly, SmackDown, it looks so good right now that it's going to give Raw a run for its money. And that's always good when, everyone knows that Raw is the big show. That's why it's 3 hours long. And then SmackDown's like the little brother, but SmackDown's looking really good. And anytime there's competition, if SmackDown's rating starts to go up and get really close to Raw's, and Raw's maybe start falling or something like that, that's good to get, have the people at Raw say, hey, pick this shit up and let's make Raw better. Because, Raw's been a little slacking last year. It got kind of, stale and it's kind of too hammy. But like I said, I really like where both rosters are at. It'd be cool if they had a little bit more cross-promotion stuff. I don't know how they can work that in quite yet. But like I said, it'd be cool to see some stuff like that. Like the shakeup was cool because it was something different, and you didn't know, you were on edge. You had to tune in and keep watching. You're like, oh my God, who's going to show up, and this and that, kind of thing. And if they can find different ways to capture that kind of magic where it keeps the fans guessing and on their toes, whether they like the result or not. The fact is that they have to tune in and watch and be like, oh, and they're invested. If they can find more ways to do stuff like that, I believe, you know, they can, like I said, they can make wrestling even better than it already is right now. And I believe they're having another kind of shake-up thing around SummerSlam. I could be wrong, but you know, like I said, I've said before, I'll say it again. Wrestling's in a great spot right now. I'm really excited. You know, a lot of possibilities for growth, especially with, you know, the absence of Big Match John. You know, we all know Brock Lesnar's not going to always be around. But like I said, anytime Brock has that belt, it adds a little bit of, or a lot of bit of significance. And it's like, damn, who's going to be the one to take Brock's belt? There's a lot of possibilities. Obviously, Roman's going to do it. But I mean, hopefully they can work ways to build interesting feuds in the meantime, you know, not just Braun Strowman, but I think that, like I said, I was talking about Finn Balor earlier. I think they should be able to work guys like that in there too, just to give them a chance to see if they can hang. You know what I mean? I mean, we know that they can hang, but to show the casual fan that, yeah, these guys can hang. So a lot of potential. I'm excited. I can't wait for wrestling in the next year. And so, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, how do you guys think about wrestling right now? Do you think it's better than it was? Do you think it's worse than it was? Do you think it's just about the same? I don't know. If we'll go ahead and comment down below, or hit me up in all the ats and all that stuff like that. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And make sure for all this stuff, if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And go ahead and follow everything too. And always find everything at brownmamba.us. I know, like I said, I know I took a little time off. I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna try to get back into it a lot more. I'll definitely try to crank out at least 1 to 2 pods a week now. It was a good break, but I'm glad to be back. I love talking about wrestling, and they're the videos that I post and stuff that get the most watches and listens and stuff like that. So obviously you guys like them too. So I'll try to get more of those going. I'm gonna try to crank out a lot more content. I'm also gonna try to get more interviews going too, so stay tuned for those. I got a lot of other stuff working too, so be on the lookout. Like I said, if you want to, you know, make sure you're up on everything, go ahead and follow everything, check everything. Everything's gonna be at brownmamba.us. You can find everything there, and you know, I don't care how nerdy I sound. I love wrestling. Look at that. I got the GOAT, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla shirt on. You know, I love wrestling. It's one of my favorite things. That'll never change about me. And so yeah, glad you guys out there also liked wrestling and like talking about wrestling, listening to stuff about wrestling, and you know, make sure you follow along and stay tuned for more. And like always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for supporting, showing love, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.